today on newspaper headlines, and I hope that you're doing really great. Your day is coming good. If you're feeling bad, it's great. It's Saturday. And it's a lighter today than usual. Right, let's lean back and see what's happening across dailies today. We have a couple of papers lined up. We have The Punch, Vanguard, Leadership, This Day, the usual suspects generally. What else do we have here? Daily Trust, Daily Independent. Just know that we got you covered when it comes to headlines because we have a couple of them. Guardian as well, The Nation, and goes on and on. I'll be looking at a couple of them within the time that we have. We'll be doing this between now and 8 o'clock. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock. At 8, it'll be time for environment and news. So within the hour, we'll be taking a look at the headlines and then at some point opening the phone lines and then we'll take your reactions. But you know there are rules to the game. When it's time for that, I'll be reading that out. All right. So let's see now. Where do we begin? The Punch is the first paper we're looking at today. And the big story on the Punch, it's the Ayu Wike brouhaha going on. The big story, I rejected Atiku's suggestion to take 1 billion naira loan for PDP. Yocha Ayu says he wants Wike to stop dragging his family into party disputes. If your children knew your misdeeds, they will disown you, Rivers governor tells Ayu. Reconciliation panel asks Ayu to resign after election, and they are planning NEC meeting. Those are writers to the story. So it was yesterday. I wonder if you watched the interview, like a media roundtable where Wike was talking with some journalist, and he just went on and on and on and on. My God, I watched it, and some of the accusations are really grave. So it's just fair that Ayu tells his side of the story. And according to him, he said, no, the recurring claims by Governor Wike of Rivers State, they're very untrue. One of them is that he collected 1 billion naira from a presidential aspirant. He said it was not true. He also tried to comment on Wike's allegations against him to avoid public altercations that could complicate matters for the party. Anyway, Wike stands by his claims. The PDP national chairman is denying the claims. There are 3 sides to a story, I hear. One person A's side, person B's side, and let's see other headlines now. On the front page of the Punch, pollution, piracy threaten Niger Delta fisher women's livelihood. You need to see the picture. It's a sad one. It's a disturbing one. Anyway, the lives of people living in the Niger Delta. I mean, it's like a squeeze-hard situation. It's really, really disturbing sometimes. Besides fisherwomen's livelihood, in fact, living in the area in itself is hard work. You know, seeing the effect of oil. My God. Anyway, that you will see on the front page of the Punch. Other stories now. Western nations encouraging Japa as they are granting young Nigerians visas. They are wicked. Governor Mosun is the one who's talking. You would see details of that story on page 22. Yeah, of the Punch today. Do you think so? They are wicked for for encouraging or for granting visas to young Nigerians. You can't acquire rams. Federal government tells Otom and other governors. Page 9 has details of that. Yeah, about buying arms for vigilante groups in the states. The federal government has warned Stanley that that should not even be considered. That is, if it was in consideration. But you know, the conversation has been on for a minute. You know, some states there are allegations that they're buying for their own vigilante groups or community policing service, and some of the states are not able to. Federal government have directed categorically, do not try it. Don't buy arms for your. Don't acquire arms. You can't acquire arms. All right. My coffee buddy is a blessing. Lorraine Lionheart on page 17 is talking. Dangote, Bello, Meat failed to resolve Obajana disputes. Remember that protest? Remember the situation that's been going on in Kogi State on the ownership of Obajana plant? Kogi State government have brought out papers. They said they own it. Dangote says is the owner. Well, they've tried to have a meeting, but at the end of the meeting, there was nothing, there was no resolve. Yeah, no resolutions met. They are reopening the cement plant though. At least federal government has directed Kogi State to reopen the cement plant. And that's on pages 10 and 27 of The Punch today. Kano's release. Buhari, Oshimbajo, Service Chiefs, NSA, DSS boss meet. That's the one that we saw on news run up just a minute ago. News on the hour at 7. They're still consulting. Federal government weighs options. They're saying that would inform Nigerians soon. We took that on News on the Hour ago, yes. So you may have heard the details. If not, hey, join us at 8, okay? Entertainers who found favor with Buhari bag national awards. Yeah, I'm seeing pictures of Burna Boy, Tu Baba, Tenny the Entertainer, Mo Abudu. Yes, basically. That you will see the details of on page 16 today. Yep. To all the stories now on The Punch, the ones that you would see. Before stardom with Abekola Ogbogufelemi. What you should know about adenomyosis. That's also on the front page of The Punch. MBGN organizers unveil 2022 contestants. Geoffrey is Toffee's fastest player. He will be, he says. Anyway, you know how we do. Just about when we're rounding off on the headlines today, would, take a look at some headlines from the world of sports. Anyway, that's about it from Punch today. Let's see now another paper, The Guardian. Federal government apologizes to Nigerians as ASU ends strike. Page 2 has details. The associated photo is of the Minister of Employment, Chris Ngige. Speaking of photos, the front page today has photos of former President Olusegun Obasanjo and others. I'm trying to say the caption of that, but it's a little too tiny. Can't say that clearly now. But you would see it on The Guardian if you do check out the paper. And news on page 3, Security Council moves further action on Nnamdi Kanu. And Metro notes on page 5, middle-aged woman murdered. Police kill gang member in Plateau. Obajana cement plant. Kogi plans legal action against Dangote even after the meeting. Yeah, that's on page 4 though. I can no longer walk freely to buy Ewa going. How can you walk freely to buy Ewa going? Hello, Swag. Yeah, one of the contestants, Big Brother Niger, is the one speaking. How? But really, man, the freedom, right? You just, like you can just buy corn on the street and, munch on it, buy granuts, buy Ewa going, cruise on vibes. Well, that's what happens when you become a celebrity, right? You have to, let go of some things to enjoy some other things that you would not have enjoyed otherwise. From Mekina through Onuigbo, Margi substitution battle rages. That's politics on page 7. Guardian woman, Naya Black Amuzie. If you are consistent, you will be inspired to achieve your desired goals. Those are pretty much the stories on the front page of The Guardian today. Let's see Daily Trust, shall we? Okay. There is sorrow in every man. I relate because I've seen the movie Anikolapo. Have you seen it? Yeah, it's one of the characters. Sorrow. Sorrow. Well, one of the actors, Kunle Remi, the person who played Sorrow on Anikolapo is the one who's saying there's sorrow in every man. I can't say. I don't know. He's a man, so who to tell us better, right? Page 13, you would see that. News now on page 4, PDP crisis. NEC to decide IU's fate as BOT submits report. And speaking on insecurity, Zamfara shuts 7 major roads and 2 markets. Yeah, owing to insecurity. Still on insecurity, why federal government freed 101 Boko Haram suspects from Kirikiri, kept incommunicado for over 13 years. Some of them were ex-combatants. Others overstayed awaiting trial. CDS explains. News of prisoner swap with 23 Kaduna train victims fake. Professor Yusuf is explaining. Yeah, there was a time that was a thing, when that release happened. They said, hey, because they were swapping, some prisoners with the trained victims that were eventually released. Anyway, there's an update on page 5 of Daily Trust. Yes, Professor Yusuf says that news is not true. Do not take it. What next for Kasorba traders after court victory? Page 24 is looking at that, story. National Security Council orders reopening of Dangote Cement Factory, orders more action on Nnamdi Kanu. That's on page 4. Gombe government seeks more partnership with media trust. Page 11. Court sacks Binani as APC Guba candidate, rules out replacement. That's on page 7. It was a news roundup. We saw this story yesterday. It was about the time the story broke that we took it on news roundup 4. Don't forget, Mondays through Fridays from Fridays 4 to 5. Other days, Mondays to Thursdays, 4 to 4:30. So for yesterday, we were just right here when the story broke, and I took it. So the court has sacked Binani as APC Guba candidate. Says she's not candidate anymore. Anyway, even replacements have they've ruled out the chances of having a replacement. You would see the details of that story on Daily Trust today. ASU suspend 8 months old strike. They're giving reasons why. That story is also on page 7 today. As to why. Anyway, they said for now they've suspended the strike. They said their argument or their concerns were not satisfactorily, handled. Yeah, satisfactorily handled. So for now, they've called off the strike. And we're hoping that we don't go back to that place because it was a really dark place. A lot happened. Some people forgot that they were students at some point, and then some deaths, you would hear some people died in some places, and the families of those people faulted, they blamed us because school were not in sessions, why those people were found in those places in the first place to even get killed. Some even took to, what's it called now? Some took to criminality, it was a really dark time. I just hope that we don't go back there again, at least for not that long. At least not for that long. Let's see the nation now, shall we? Saturday, October 15. The big story. Wike IU exchange fire over 1 billion naira bribery claim and others. They are writers to the story. Rivers governor says party chairman's children will disown him if certain facts are made public. Boasts PDP will lose 1 billion naira, wants Wike to leave his family out of party matters. BOT recommends chairman's resignation after next year's elections. And that's on page 4. That next year's election, will it hold? I mean, would like North, the presidential campaign, bosses from the North? No, that's one of the things. Anyway. Nnamdi Kanu not off the hook, National Security Council says on page 5. Release him immediately. IPOB leaders' lawyers tell Malami. No governor has authority to procure AK-47. Federal government replies Akere Dolu and others.